Building a company or a business is a science and raising money is an art, says Eric Osiakwan, the CEO of Chanzo Capital. He adds that for a startup, the most important capital one needs is from their customers. Osiakwan, a Ghanaian entrepreneur, was the guest speaker at a hybrid session on addressing Africa's funding gap hosted by the Innovation Village in
Raising of
Kampala.
capital is an art of building relationships, getting to know people. And once you have those relationships and you know people, you can then ask them for money. Now, the critical thing is that the most important capital you need is from your customers. So when you start a business, the critical thing is to solve a problem for a customer who will pay you for that solution, either as a product or as a service. So 80% of your time needs to be focused on getting customers who can use your product and service and pay for it.
Issues tackled included profitability and sustainability of enterprises, raising capital, and satisfying obligations that come with the money.
So startups failing and succeeding has sometimes factors outside of your control. And that's where, as an entrepreneur, you need to watch the waves, you need to watch the market. So I say that eventually a startup failing or succeeding is determined by the market. So there's a third factor that is at play here, which is that whilst you're building the act of the company, you also have to look at the market. You always have to raise up your head. Because if you don't watch the market, you may end up not being able to read what the market is saying and respond to that market intervention, and therefore your company could fail.
Africa's funding ecosystem has grown exponentially over the last decade. On the other hand, concerns are raised on the ability of African entrepreneurs to successfully absorb the funds.
So my advice is don't worry about the money. It's hard to take that, especially if you need it. Don't worry about the money. Instead, worry about what type of money and am I ready for it? And am I ready for the obligations that come with the money? And focus on building a business worth investing in.
Startups funding has been on the rise on the African continent, with countries like Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa and Egypt receiving the biggest share. Analysts argue that whereas startups can survive through raising capital, with the acceleration of digitalization in many tech markets, the ecosystem is expected to remain strong and attract more investors. Dennis Igor for UBC News.